Hello and welcome back to the Slanted Dice table, folks. Welcome players, welcome viewers, welcome listeners. Not much to announce today. We're going to get right into the game. To sum up last week's session, our party is currently on the quest of venturing into the Dreadwood, a dark and eerie place full of creepy tales on Dread Parish Isle. And they do so because they are trying to get in touch with a local legend, being of power, some say. A local hag that apparently has a missing ingredient called a heartstone. I was almost about to say Hearthstone.
Yeah, is it Hearthstone or Hearthstone?
No, it's a Heartstone.
A Hearthstone.
And this Heartstone is the last missing ingredient that Blackwater and his mother Eleni Blackbrew need to finish the Aureus Nectar, the only cure for the so-called Hool Fever, a sickness that the local folk and also some of your party members have been suffering from. So as you ventured further into Dread Parish Isle, you came across the town of Burle, and the town of Burle wasn't faring so well. There was a Lycan attack that was imminent, and you guys stood there defending one of the many battlements around the town. And now, slowly, after an epic battle between Lycans, Traians, and other dark dogs that kind of these almost like shadow mastiffs looking creatures that attacked the battlements, you were able to fight them off, and you are now standing there gathering your bearings. The storm is slowly passing, some rain trickling still here and there, and what you thought was almost like the beginning of night actually turns out to be that only a couple hours have passed since your arrival at Burle. It seems to be around the midday time. The storm is slowly but surely opening up the clouds, and you do see several sun rays poking through. So as you're standing there, watching across the battlements, as several of the local Burle Rangers mourn and also carry their fallen brethren to the side of the road, and already trying to, like, logistically kind of clean up the mess of these Lycan bodies all around. What do you do?
I need a short rest.
Oh yeah, we should heal.
You need a short rest? You want to stay atop these battlements and...
I should rest as well.
I think we should meet up with the Earl of Burle and discuss maybe first.
You do see off to the side that George is currently talking to one of the other rangers that seem to have on a big steed ridden towards this battlement, and is currently in conversation with him off to the side.
George, how's Kadir faring?
One sec, he says, and turns around to the other ranger again. He kind of like mutters something you cannot hear, then shake hands, nod to each other, and the rider goes back onto his steed, galloping forth past your battlement, off into the distance. One of the other ones.
Did George just put us on hold?
Yeah, basically. And George now slowly turns around.
No shit.
Kind of like gathering some what looks to be like papers of some kind, and kind of like folding stuff together and putting it into his coat. Yes, Branwolf, it was correct.
Yes, Kadir. I was wondering about who was with our friend Merle, the Earl of Burle.
Yes, so I've just received word that the Earl himself has taken off a hunting after a group of Lycans that were retreating. Supposedly, some of these Lycans made off with a couple of our men, and he wants to bring them back to safety as quickly as possible. And it seems that your sorcerer friend was also among them, taken into the forest.
Okay.
But you were saying that you were already planning on venturing further south anyway, or was I mistaken?
Yeah, I believe so. I'd have to ask the rest of our merry troop. We should rest up though first, and then.
I mean, so far what I've heard, both the Earl and also your friend, they have fought valiantly and killed many of the Lycans, but this is.
I doubt that in Kadir's.
Well, this is kind of unsettling. It's the first time that these Lycans actually took some of ours. Normally they just kill our rangers, but I'm sorry for your loss that your friend was also taken into the woods.
It's almost like they were planning it. That fits a bit too perfectly well with our entrance to Burle. In any case, I do believe we do need to rest before we venture towards the forest.
Well, if you can rest here, or are you planning to come back into town? And he also kind of like points to the side. There's this little, looks to be like a little outhouse structure inside these battlements. Well, not like an outhouse, but you know, a little guard's post, a building with a roof. You see what looks to be a hearth burning inside. There should be some provisions stocked in there if you need anything to eat. I need to get going and file some reports and report back to the town castle. You'll probably find me back there in case you need anything. You know where it is. You've been there before.
Who stores food in an outhouse?
It's not an outhouse. It's a small little shack-like structure, okay?
So the people here don't like us because they're sending us to an outhouse to stay?
They put us on hold. Yeah. They put us on hold, then they tell us to go spend the night in the shithouse.
George at this point has already turned around slowly and is making his way on foot back towards town, towards the road leading into town.
Eldritch blast him.
How big of a town is that actually?
It's almost as big, you would say, as well, actually a little bit bigger probably than Saltmarsh compared to it.
Oh, okay.
Because it has like this. It's this large area that's bordering kind of onto this river that's right next to it, and you see it's walled off. And further across the river where you held the defense line are several battlements that are set up behind bridges that are usually used for, just venturing in and out the city. And the one you held is what looks to be like probably the only road, the trade line that kind of opens up until the old coast road leading back east towards Saltmarsh.
Could we take the river to get deeper into the woods?
I was just wondering the same thing.
Yeah, you see that the river kind of bends southward from Burle, and it is kind of leading towards the direction of the Dreadwood itself.
Alton, do you know more about where that river leads?
Not really. I barely came to this corner of the island, so I don't know much about this.
All you know, the river itself is called the Widow Wind, and it leads into the woods. That's all you really remember yourself.
That.
You do know that it most probably originates from the Ghost Lake further in the center of the island of Dread Parish Isle itself.
Didn't we have a shack, or wasn't there in one of the visions a river and I forgot somebody?
There was some
water and something. Yeah. So maybe if we travel, first of all, it probably wouldn't be awaiting us to go down the river. They probably think, we're going to run through the woods.
Well, if they have enough Lycans, they can probably cover all options. So.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, I mean, also you do not see like a proper road or anything leading south, either along the river or directly towards the the Dreadwood, you do see what looks to be like a trampled little path that is probably used only by the rangers.
But last time Tiala mentioned something, I don't know if that's a viable idea, that we use your giant eagles to get there, because then no one can ambush us on the road or on the river, and I don't know if that's a possibility.
I mean, we will not be able to surprise them, but that's definitely the safest way of getting there. I think.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think it's a good idea.
Are they large enough that they can carry us?
It depends on the DM.
Well, first of all, let me
it doesn't.
bring you guys over here to the map in case you want that, to Drift Parish Isle itself, so you have an overview. Also, in terms of distances.
So it's basically 50 meters to get there.
Miles, yeah.
Meters. That's what it is.
It's too far. Way too far.
No, but why not?
Wait,
why not take eagles?
How deep into the Dreadwood? We don't know this. Like, how deep into the Dreadwood the hag is? I assume, right? Like, we don't know this.
Nope.
The legend was always she's at the center, at the heart of the Dreadwood.
But didn't we? I don't remember exactly. But didn't either all of us or some of us had that vision of that tree house with the lake?
The infected, yeah.
So basically, but basically if we are in the air, it would be easier to spot that place as well.
Depends on how dense the trees are, I guess. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Also, Blackwater, make a history check for me. First roll of the night, baby.
Hold my beer, and it is intelligence, I think. History?
I think so, yeah.
Watch me fail this. Oh, no, it's not bad. That's an 18.
Ooh. 18. At your best guess, as with all maps, in this age, they're estimates as best in terms of, distances, stuff like that. What you do know is that something or some place in the Dreadwood is probably what folk tell each other in stories and legends, the cause for these twisted kind of creatures and also like this chaotic wildlife that's sprawling about. And also what the rangers themselves have told from their stories of like hunts and little like onslaughts that they did towards the forces of and these wild beasts of the Dreadwood, is that they have usually only been dabbling within the outreaches of the Dreadwood, but it seems to become very hard to remember or find any information that pertains to like the inner reaches, or even if there are more places, locations within the Dreadwood itself. And it's also, to your best guess, maybe some dark place that maybe twists or forms reality to its will.
I mean, that should be able to be observable from high above, right?
Probably.
That sounds like if you see a twist in reality from above, you should be able to identify that.
That means we're probably close, yeah.
I like that idea.
I like the idea. So, how much do we have to rest to get decently rested? I mean,
That's the big question. Do we want a long rest or a short rest?
You cannot take a long rest because it's the beginning of the day.
Oh, crap.
And you already did so this morning. I mean, right now it's not the beginning, it's like noonish. But you can take a short rest and expend as many hit die as you want.
The thing is,
get it back.
My eagles are up right now, right?
Yeah, you cast it once.
So they will vanish in an hour. It's only 1 hour.
So they will be
So
gone
how-
after this first
So we
short
can
rest.
rest.
How fast are they? Because if we rest in half an hour, we can just like speed run this and go straight to the hag.
And be home for
Let
dinner.
me check.
And peppermint snuff.
Yeah, and I can only cast the spell one more time today.
So the giant
Ooh, that's
eagles
gonna be
themselves,
interesting.
they have a flying speed of 80 feet.
Are you kidding me? I just looked it up as well.
Yeah, I just pulled it up myself here as well.
So 80 feet, how much is that in meters? Because if it's 50
It's
meters
miles.
to the...
God damn it! Hang on a sec. 80 feet. So let's see.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, it depends on how far you want to fly.
Wait,
In-
that's 80 feet per turn.
per turn, yeah, in 6
But
seconds,
they
basically.
could basically use their action to fly more, right?
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
would
it's
be
like travel
120.
pace, basically. It's not the same as in combat. You're much faster
Okay.
there, of course.
So 800 per minute. Right? 800 per minute. That means. No, I'm doing this wrong because that would mean 48,000 feet per hour.
Sounds about
Is
right.
that right? Is that
They're
right?
magic eagles!
Yeah. whoosh.
let me calculate. God damn it, guys! I need to calculate
Oh,
myself.
beautiful. We can be back for dinner.
Yeah,
Fuck
of
yes.
Yes.
Times. Okay, here we go. It's gonna be 800 feet.
Per minute.
Per minute. So
Okay.
you have about that times 60.
Yeah.
So you have 48,000
Four.
feet an hour, and you're gonna
Exactly.
travel up to 8 hours, basically. So what you can do
That's who.
So we basically could get to the
is
center.
travel about 72 miles per day on a giant eagle. If you can keep the spell up for 8 hours, that is. And also if they have the strength to carry you, because depending
Yeah.
on their strength roll, it might be slower, might be faster.
Yeah. So basically, with those eagles, we can do 9 miles per hour.
Kinda.
Kind of. Yes, a bit above.
How deep do we think we have to go in? What does DM think?
50 is what is what we're assuming, basically.
Okay.
I think
Is
that'll
what if
depend on
you're looking at the map. I mean, the other thing is, like, where do you want to go? Because you don't know anything about the wood. If you just want to fly to the center, it's about 50 miles.
Well, but we have some pictures from our visions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those were all taken from, faintly bits and pieces. You
Yeah.
definitely knew that you were somewhere in the Dreadwood. It's just this feeling you had during your dreams.
I think you'll probably the ones that dream might recognize once they see gnarly looking woods and
Yeah.
because you kept saying every time you kept saying that that the branches of these what were they, not fir trees, but they were pine trees, I think it was. You kept seeing,
And you did also partly have a some sort of a like poem like sentence that you heard in your dreams as well.
Yeah.
Did we?
I don't know if anybody's a good note taker.
Well, I didn't.
I wrote down my part, but it's.
I didn't dream it. Tiala told us.
That's true. It
a
was
little bit.
Kader, Freon, and Tiala.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have written it down even if I had dreamt it. So.
I have it here as well, yeah. I think.
I mean, I can also give you Kader's part.
Well, he's not
Only
here.
if you do it drunk, please.
I know, but I know that you guys did exchange it before,
He did.
or at least
did?
he did. He talked about with the Tiala. I think
Freon
Freon was the only one
who didn't
that didn't.
share.
Yeah, I was
I
about to say.
don't think so.
Uh-huh.
Priyan
From all we know.
doesn't share intimate moments like that.
Yeah, it's none of
Yeah,
your fucking business.
Yeah, he wakes
Freon,
up.
which
Did you sleep?
what's the first
Yeah.
word of your sentence?
Through.
Okay, gotcha.
The
And
fire
I
and
think
flames, that's it.
fire
That's
and
it.
flames. Yeah, no, I know that Kadera had the initial sentence. And that was by the darkest river, beneath the leafless trees, I hear her hacking. Her gaze is
trees.
killing me.
Perfect. So we fly, and as soon as there's no more trees that have no leaves,
That's weird. Pines usually have fucking leaves, like regardless of season. So
yeah,
that's gotta be easy to detect from above.
yeah, perfect.
Again.
But I also think this maybe sounds like we should follow the river.
What does yours say?
You can fly towards the river.
Nothing.
Nice.
It says, in the rooted branches between the fading light, where wondrous dreams fall into forever night, past the blackest heaven above the dying stars, her tears have broken into a million shards. So, I don't know.
The fire and the yeah, I remember the lyrics. Yeah, that really doesn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Unless that whole like warping reality thing is actually real, and then we would see like a spot of darkness or something in the middle of the forest. So who knows? Any
As long
ideas?
as long as you just point me in the direction where I have to kill something, because I didn't dream of anything or hear anything or know anything.
But
I'm not
in
only
general,
good with
what's the plan with the hack? What do you want to do?
My plan was asking you what the fuck to do.
Don't kill her. I don't think we can.
I don't think we can, and I don't think that brute force. I think this is definitely one enemy, one foe, which I can't. I mean, I tried a treants last time and almost got my ass kicked, but I don't think I don't even have to get close to a hag, which is such an ancient being. I don't think brute force. No, and I don't have the brains to compare with it. But I believe somebody had an idea.
I would try and talk to her and see if we can make a deal.
Yeah.
What are you willing to give? Because from what I understand, hags don't like to make deals that are like usually bad for them.
I think I know who he'll give. Here, the big barbarian, have him. Once again, I feel the small pat on my rump.
Well, it depends what she wants. I don't know.
Yeah.
She's been collecting people, or living beings, apparently, right? Through the whole thing.
People have vanished in the Dreadwood, and slowly the sick have been like stumbling,
Exactly.
finding their way into the Dreadwood, and were never seen again.
She found a way to mass kidnap people.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming she's using them for something, maybe rituals, maybe
Is she
rituals
turning
or
them into the werewolves?
a leather couch, maybe, or that.
Leather pouch.
I don't know. You don't know.
A leather pouch, yeah.
Maybe she needs a tea table going with a couch, so we
There
can
we
trade
go.
her for that.
Yeah. Fresh.
Is it custom for cities like Burle to have some kind of like local witch or something like that? Someone who has knowledge on these more mystical and weird things.
Make another history check for me.
Oh, of course. Always history. That is a 17.
17. What you can remember from stories your parents told you, whenever there would be like big caravans that there was like a plan on big like larger trading caravans coming to Burle to offload goods from faraway lands and other harbors, ports, markets. They would usually make like this big happening about this whole affair. And you do remember in one of those stories that usually there would be like a sort of storyteller, a small little kobold that nobody really knows where he lives or where he comes from, and folk think he's probably venturing out in the wilds, or maybe he came from the Dreadwood as well, that usually that's the only time he's ever seen around the city. And he would always, like, at a big get-together, start swapping stories, telling of visions, reading people's fortunes and stuff like that, collecting a little bit of gold, and then would vanish again. And that's basically where lots of people were always, especially like the children, they were always looking forward to this kobold coming, telling them of the dark stories of the Dreadwood, and then also at the next morning he would just be gone.
Well, since you said it's noon or mid-afternoon, it's the middle of the day, and we do want to rest up a little bit. Should we see that since it is more or less...
I'm assuming if you're not like actively having anybody post watch, you're just gonna sit together, rest, and talk about this.
Yeah, no, I was wondering if the Earl of the Earl isn't here. He's
the Earl rode off into the woods, going after his people.
Been taken. I was just wondering if the rest of the town is up to more or less celebrating the battle, since it was a small victory, and then if they want to do that at the end of the day, maybe somebody will give the kobold the ring and he'll come by. Somebody call the kobold.
I poke the nearest guard and ask how many of these ambushes they get per day.
Kind of says, well, we had our last one was 2 days ago, and this one here now. There was, I remember, one cruel night where they came twice, once in the evening hours at sunset and one in the dead of night. They seem to be pretty random about the whole thing.
Okay. And would you consider this one that just happened a victory for Burle?
Any victory that men see the sun afterwards is a victory for us and for Burle as well. But we are already at our wits' end here. We're losing more and more good rangers and good young men. We've been also starting to try and find new recruits, new youngsters from town. I fear if this goes on much further, the Earl won't have a choice but to conscript these poor young men into our services.
The direct question, we're trying to get more information, and we've heard that the person or the being to ask for history is the kobold who comes and tells the stories. Is there any way of contacting him, or does this kobold only come when there is like celebration?
I think the last time this little creature, if you're talking about the same thing, I don't know his name, but I remember there was like a bunch of youngsters and children sitting around him about a month ago, when we had a big shipment coming from Saltmarsh. It was like a following of maybe 5 or 6 caravan wagons that kind of made their trade here. And we had a big fire going. Usually we just set up a big fire, and some folks think that's what, lures them in. But I don't even really know how to find them or summon them.
Any shipment due within the next day?
There's a bunch of shipments due. We haven't gotten a shipment in here since these attacks started a couple of weeks ago.
I thought so, yeah. Okay.
We haven't seen merchants. You were one of the first, and people already were looking forward to whatever wares you're bringing on your cart.
That's true.
It's all displayed.
Yeah, all displayed. We have everything. But that's an idea. We could, round up our cart and see if anyone else wants to display things or something and make a big fire. The question is, do we want to take the time for that? Do we sit down, or should we head out? I don't know if we're going to get much more information. We know we have to go where we have to head.
Do the people of Burle know more about that witch? Did you talk to them?
Me?
Well, you guys in general. Last time.
No, we arrived at the same time, and we were ambushed.
We were taken to the Earl, and then while we were talking with the Earl, and he more or less found out who we were, that we weren't merchants, that he was hoping that we'd fight with him. That's when the bells rang.
Oh, okay.
So the ambush came right away. We didn't even have much choice. So we more or less proved ourselves that we are not the merchants, but that we are the adventurers that he'd heard of, and I think that may more or less made him happy. But we just have to hope that the word doesn't get out to the Empire, and they start sending people out. We have to get out of Burle as soon as. That's another thing. We should get out of Burle as soon as possible before we have search parties to show up. So, what do we do, oh undecided team?
I mean,
I vote for rounding up a bunch of soldiers, rangers, and at least save Kader and the Earl of Burle.
Yeah.
And maybe even venture further, but from there on we improvise.
Okay. So
any other ideas?
So we're not going to head in towards the.
No. Don't take my decision for the ultimate decision. You guys think for your goddamn selves.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't care about them. Why would you? They are with soldiers.
They have their I'd round up
the soldiers
Eagle.
were kidnapped.
But
that's the thing.
I thought they took like a few people living in Burle, not soldiers.
I would hope so.
Well,
a few rangers is what.
Two rangers as well, Kader and
those that have been in direct contact fighting
put
the
it this way,
Lycans.
we know where they're being kidnapped to. We know it's all the same space, so we might as well head there.
Well,
and then
Bramwell,
maybe
not to burst her bubble, but it's a goddamn big forest. Looking out there, it's like the whole horizon and endlessly beyond that.
Yeah, still, but it's all one evil shithouse in the middle of the buttfuck nowhere. That's where they're all heading towards. I mean, that's where the evil is in. The hag is in the middle. We have to go there because she's taking care of all this other stuff, more or less. I don't think that the Lycans are doing this on their own. That there's we have nothing to do with the hag. So I think I'd head out of Dodge and head right out of the frying pan into the fire with the Eagles. That's my idea. Tiago?
Yeah, how long have we been talking? Are the Eagles gone yet?
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
already
this
the
is
next
going
day.
on throughout your
Yeah.
rest, I would assume.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I need to heal.
So
by
whenever
the way,
you can like still use your
It dies.
use your hit die to
That's
heal
what I did.
yourselves,
I
and
have
at the
done
end of
zero.
whenever you're ready, you
Yeah.
can say that the rest is over.
So,
But I would assume all of this planning is going on while resting.
Yeah.
Tiala, do you know a spell of resurrection?
I don't know. I think lesser, maybe? That's restoration, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you talking about?
Resurrection.
I don't think so. Why would you need that?
Just a thought.
No.
Yeah.
Don't know that one.
What are you planning?
Yeah, what?
That's just an idea.
If you want to get rid of some frustrations, there are other ways
kind
of
of
doing
burrowing his toe in the sand. Just an idea.
Yeah. How tall are you? How much do you weigh?
So, but would we be able, if the town is as big as Saltmarsh, would we be able to do they have someone that sells scrolls? We might be able to get a scroll of resurrection.
You haven't been to town yet?
No.
How urgent do we need to go into... Like, how fast do we want to go into the Dreadwood?
I think it's a good idea to go as fast as possible because the Lycans are on the run at the moment.
Yeah, we could follow them somehow. Should we just go?
Yeah, maybe we should just track them.
Hey, Branwolf, weren't you good with, you know,
Tracking?
But I am.
tracking?
Finding a way in the woods?
Wait a minute. Come on now.
Come on!
Oh, God.
Yeah, Alton, there's no need for that. No need to pour salt into the wound.
No.
There is no wound by this point, there's only salt.
Yeah.
There's nothing else.
That's all that's left.
No, according to, I think I am, at least I can find food. I can't find the way, but I can find food. No,
Yeah, there's a McDonald's nearby, like, to the left.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I have +3 in survival. But
Yeah, I think Tiala is better.
Yeah, I think she's
She's,
better.
I've got +9
Tracking.
in survival.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, then please, whip off those eagles and show the way. We are ready.
How do you have +9 in survival? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I've got expertise.
But put this way, while we are still resting on things, Freon, do we need a scroll? Because there's enough soldiers here, and we do have the I guess the image as heroes that save. We could probably send a runner or something, you know, give him a few gold pieces and say, give us a...
And then give it to a raven or something.
Yeah.
And send it over to us.
And send it over to us.
I could, yeah, they could give it to Tara.
Yeah.
And she could
Or
follow
that.
us.
Yeah.
We could just ask if they have a magic job
Yeah,
at all,
yeah.
because if they don't, then
Start with that,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good idea.
let's
Oi!
do that.
Oi, guard!
Yeah?
Oh. We were wondering, do you have a shop that sells magical items, scrolls, things of that nature?
Kind of like looks a bit to the sky. Well,
That's one.
there's like this small little shop over in the Bright Plaza called the Night Sun Emporium. A weird guy, mainly sells jewelry and stuff, but some of that stuff is also enchanted, supposedly. But that's all I really know in terms of magical items.
So you have no idea if he has any scrolls available?
Well, I mean, first of all, look at my equipment. We're not outfitted with any magical weapons and stuff. And with spell scrolls, or what they're called, not many folk can read them. So it's usually, I mean, if he has some, he probably still has some and might be able to share them, but not many folk buy stuff like that because they don't know how to use it.
Yeah, I can
If
see
that
why.
answers your question.
Well,
How far is it to that shop?
It's just you enter the city and go along the main road, and it comes you'll be hitting the Bright Plaza in no time. And it's somewhere on the north side of it, almost at the foot of Pick Hill.
somebody want to make himself a gold piece or two? I don't know. He doesn't seem to be the...
We bring you guys over to the Burle map.
He doesn't seem to be the running type or the highly excitable, or do you guys have... I mean, there must be running
I'm open to
errand
making a
boys.
gold piece, and he kind of like builds
Oh,
himself
now.
up a little.
Yeah.
What is it you fellers need?
So we need a scroll of freedom. Tell them what you need.
Yeah,
and
we need a scroll of resurrection or
Of restoration?
resurrection.
Maybe write down what you
Yeah,
need.
please.
Resurrection.
Yeah.
I think I have some paper with me.
Or
Yeah.
scroll of spare the dying. I write it down on a.
Yeah, you can.
Here.
Yeah.
This is some weird ass shit, but sure.
What
Any
does it
kind of
cost,
kinky
Brian?
stuff.
What do I have to give them? What do you think does it cost usually?
I have no idea. Do I know?
You probably would.
Make an intelligence check.
Since he probably buys them.
Straight
Let
intelligence.
me help.
A
Let me help.
natural
Yeah, please.
20.
All right.
Natural 20
Sure.
from your previous purchases in bigger towns and cities
Aye.
of Revelia.
Short sessions.
You know that spell scrolls, they're usually tied to the more powerful the spell, the more expensive it gets.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking actually at like DM to player resurrection, that's a 9th level spell? Is it?
I don't know.
How much? I'm counting here. I'm going
Let's
through my
say
bag.
3rd level spell.
I mean, spare the dying is a cantrip. That would be good enough as well.
Yeah, I mean cantrips and also like uncommon spells, they range anything from between 100 and 1,000 gold pieces.
Okay.
But it definitely, since they are extremely rare and the transcribing process of like high level spells is very, very meticulous.
It's a 7th
It
level
takes-
necromancy.
Yeah, it's like it gets really expensive. And your guess is you ain't gonna find it in this backwater town of Burle. This is some like arcane archmage shit you're either find in long lost dungeons or high academies, stuff like that, probably in reserve of the empire.
Hardcore
Okay.
shit.
Yeah.
So I put my bag back.
So what about the fetching
Here.
of these spell
Yeah, one
scrolls?
moment here. Take I got one extra.
I
wait.
wrote down the restoration and the
Yeah, no.
spare.
Yeah,
What was
well.
it again? The dying?
Yeah,
That's
frying pan. Yeah.
And one
Ryan
more
Pan.
task, if you have enough time. Could
Yeah.
you give this silver ring to Penelope? I don't know if there are multiple Penelope.
You have a last
oh.
name?
Not really. She's probably the wife of a dead ranger. A ranger that was sent out fairly recently on the way to Salt Marsh.
Sure, I can ask around a bit.
I
I'll
give him
do
I
some
give.
inquiring on my behalf.
Yeah, here you go, my good man. Here's a gold piece, extra shiny for you.
Also, if you try and pocket the ring for yourself, we will find you.
Oh,
It's cursed. It's
Make
cursed.
yeah. Don't
Yeah,
put it on.
Don't put it on.
Don't
It'll
put it on.
It'll make your dick fall off. Okay.
Make a deception check.
Trust me, he's tried it.
Well, yes.
Make it with advantage.
I've tried it both ways. That's a 15.
With advantage. Since Blackwater's helping you.
Oh yeah, well you can help.
Oh, sure.
You give
No,
better.
no, you do it. You do it.
Yeah,
do it.
you rolled because he's giving you
Yeah,
advantage on the roll.
I had 11 and a 15, so
Oh, okay.
15 is better.
Kind of like looks at the little ring. Whatever you say, and pockets it in one of his pockets.
What was the job that I don't think Blackwater knows that. Was Freon with me? Who was with me when we got all the merchant stuff?
Yeah, Blackwater.
Oh, Blackwater, yeah, it was the two of us.
Still
yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
we-
to Dane in Burle oder sowas?
Yeah.
Yep.
the
We can
Dane
also
and
send him
Burl.
to give that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Here's another gold piece. And have him take care of that too. And We have that. Wasn't it a box or something?
Yeah, some kind of box that we're not supposed to open.
What
We're not
box
supposed
is
to
that?
open. It's
We're
a
not
box.
supposed to open.
We're not supposed to open it because
Why
then
not?
Dane will. Then Dane
We
will
get-
know that it had been opened. I guess.
Yeah,
that,
who's
and
Dane?
we basically doesn't matter. We basically got the horses for free if we do
What's
it.
in
Yeah.
the box?
I don't know
Why didn't you open it?
because we're not supposed to open it.
But why not?
Because maybe something that's inside it will fly away, or it'll spoil. Maybe it's a good wine, and he was afraid that Kader will drink it. Who knows? But he gave us the horses and everything.
The pouch is smaller
for
than a wine.
Yeah.
Have
What-
you
what's
have you
the box?
checked it for magic?
Yes,
Yes.
there's no magic.
Nothing.
Oh,
Did check that?
It's something very, very, very personal. It's maybe Dane's ex-wife's vaginal contraceptive or something. Who knows? I don't give a flying fuck. Let's give it to the man.
so you
that
don't
we
you
can-
That
don't
sounds a
care?
bit
So we
too
could open
specific.
it, right?
Yeah, but he'll
No.
know that it'll be opened. Maybe there's
So,
some
but he's
kind
not
of-
here.
Just give it to the guard and let him run away.
Here.
I'll hold Freon and
Yeah.
just give it to the guard.
Don't look at it, Freon. You'll make you go blind.
Are you,
Just get
are you
another
fighting
box.
this, Freon?
No,
What?
he's not. He's not fighting.
Do I
As
really need to
Blackwater
fight
comes around
this?
and as Blackwater's starting to hold you in place, are you fighting this?
Yeah, of course.
Then I need you to make strength strength checks, both
No,
of you.
no touching.
no. I'll sit on him. Here, Blackwater, give it to the thing. I'm going to sit on
Yeah,
Freon.
yeah, okay.
I'll just sit
swap
on it. Forget it. You don't have no chance against me, my
So
weight,
yeah, the
and
do
my,
so
and
with
my
it,
plus 7
all
strength.
three of you roll. While Tiala's just
God.
watching this.
Let's see.
She's
So, let's
probably
see.
shaking her
Tiala,
head.
help!
This
Tiala!
is plus 7 on strength.
Fiona's stealing the box.
I
I'm not
have a
stealing
19.
anything.
I have a 19.
Natural 20.
Perfect.
Who has the pouch in whose inventory is it?
I think Blackwater had it because
No, the pouch was at the... God, the pouch was at the fucking cart.
Who wrote it down in their
I did. Not
inventory?
me. I think
did.
Branwolf.
I think
I
I
did,
did.
yeah.
Oh, that's true. No, it's on the card because you know why? You loosened
Shit.
that little board and
yeah,
kind
we
of
put
like
it
hid
under
it.
the board. Yeah.
There was something about hiding it in one of the
Yeah.
boards on the side.
What a waste of a fucking good D20. We're fucking...
Okay. So you got a D20. Hold on to Freon.
So you're
I'm
all
getting-
sitting there, kind of discussing this, and as Blackwater, you're trying to reach for the pouch. It hits you. It's like, ah, crap. It's
fuck.
still in town at the castle.
We have to go there to get it, then we can.
No, fuck
look
it.
on-
Just tell him where it is. He can get it and deliver it. Fuck it.
Yeah, I already gave it to both of them.
To who?
Oh, God. You know Dane?
I know Dane
Yeah.
Bardell.
That must be him.
Well, he's off on an excursion in the Dreadwood currently.
Deliver it to his house if possible.
Yeah.
Who is this
Put in the
Dane Bardell?
He's one of our rangers.
And he just went off into the Dreadwood.
Yeah, we
Well,
have
they're trying to save
several
him.
excursions. Usually they don't come back for maybe a week or so.
That's
For,
not
for,
Dane.
for how
back.
long has he been gone now?
Oh, he's been sent off about 3 days ago. After
like
one of the
Maybe we
recent
should
attacks.
hold on to the bag in case he doesn't come back.
Yeah. Wasn't
Hold
our
on.
Dane a merchant?
Might be safer as well.
We don't know, Branwolf. We don't know.
I thought he was a merchant or something.
We
Whatever.
don't know. I
Okay,
don't think we know.
We'll hang on. Don't worry about it. Go do whatever thing. Okay, so
So I put down the scroll of restoration and the spare the frying or whatever
Yes.
it's called.
That's the one.
All right. And he kind of like holds out his hand.
yeah, he needs money. I know. I gave him his 2 gold pieces for taking care of this, but how much are we going to give him for this restoration?
Nothing.
two?
He's just gonna find out if there is one.
Yeah.
I can like find out and not buy anything if you're uncomfortable with handing
That's a
over.
perfect idea, yeah, because I'm not going to hand over 1,000 gold pieces, my good man. You look very nice and very friendly, but, you know, as a specific captain used to say, I'm a cheap bit when it comes to money.
Still
Well, ain't we all, sir? Ain't we all?
Okay, good. We are very undecisive again today. We're making our this adventure turning into a typical undecided adventure.
That's what you wanted. Don't complain.
Well,
No.
I'll find out what I can, sirs and lady. And he kind of like nods his head and makes his way up the road towards town. You now see coming from there as well, George. After your hour's rest, who's back. He seems to be carrying something, what looks like a bunch of rope, which he kind of puts on a cart off to the side. And you're still here? Is there anything you're planning in particular, or because I was about to take maybe 2 more of our good men here and venture towards the woods, trying to get more information from our outpost at the anchor tree.
I don't know, guys, what do you think? Should we join them?
Yeah, we can
Sounds
still
good, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with you.
Do you have a rope? We're gonna need rope. Lots of
I
it.
have
The
some
longer
rope. I
the
have
better.
Why?
How much do you need?
It's what we use to basically for our excursions further into the woods, so we find our way back. That's where we're going. We're going to we call it the anchor tree. We usually tighten ourselves in and then venture on in our group, and this way we'll find our way back out of the woods.
I can offer 100 feet of hempen rope.
I mean,
I
if
hope
you
it
have
helps.
several parts, we usually, extend them along the way the further in we go.
You're not
But
But
worried
we
that
have
that's-
some down there as well.
Yeah,
Just
I have
as a
rope
general, whatever rope you have, bring it.
Yeah.
And he
got
already
rope,
starts to like put some stuff, and you don't see any horses or anything around. He just kind of like shoulders a few of these ropes in these long, round kind of forms over his shoulder. Looks at you. Well, whenever you're ready.
No, lead the way.
Let's go.
I'll grab some of the provisions for food.
All right.
Take the outhouse. Take the entire thing.
You find a total of 4 rations, which you can scrounge up inside.
You guys have enough rations, right? Because I don't have any.
I still have 8, I think. Or 7.
I have 9. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll grab them if that's all right.
Yeah,
And
perfect.
Tiala can make new ones, so it's
And as long as there's something growing in the woods which is edible, I'll find it.
a hag, I think.
Yeah, I'll
That
find
might
a
be
hag.
interesting.
Let's eat a hag. Is that where haggis comes from? Whoa.
Anyway,
Hey, no sticker might be good enough for a trailer, okay?
so you then follow George into the vast empty plain in front of the Dreadwood then? See him like tramping along the path in front of you.
While Brandwolf mumbles in the background, singing something, George, George, George of the jungle.
So you all follow?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess the path and the forest is too like dense to take any horses and stuff like that.
You don't see any horses around
Horses,
currently.
yeah.
That's true. Yeah, fuck it.
But
Just
yeah, I mean the
follow.
path itself, the small trampled path that leads to it, it's still like in an open area. You
Oh.
still see burnt down grass left and right from the previous battles and the previous encounters here. But yeah, you follow George onto the where the tree line starts. It's like a good almost
hang
half
on.
an hour or so.
Why are we leaving now when we sent off the guard? To look for scrolls and stuff? Is he not
We're
coming
not
back?
gonna wait for the guard, knowing that
Okay.
he's not gonna find any scrolls. I mean,
No,
Okay, so it was
that
just
was
3 gold
Yeah,
from
but-
Branwolf for nothing.
for
out
nothing,
of
yeah.
out of like 20 million or some shit
Yeah.
like that.
Did you
No,
mark
are
off
you
those
all that
3 gold
stingy,
bread
my-
rolls?
fucking
I
hell.
did. I already marked them off.
All right.
And it was only 2 gold pieces because I gave one for the scroll and one for taking care of Dane.
Oh
But-
wow, how terrible! Wow, out of the 2,000 that we fucking have, are you kidding me? Let's go.
At the moment, I think it's 2,560 now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Didn't mean to. Okay, let's just
Well-
fucking go.
All
I
right,
am
so you
very
follow George for
proud
about
of my
half an hour,
goose.
bickering about if this is actually the best way to do things, and about who owns who gold and who should be more paying forward
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Who's paying it then, yeah? Who paid for it? Little man, I paid
You
for it.
do see that George is
Hey,
keeping
motherfucker.
quite a distance.
You're just
He's
collecting
kind of-
all of the fucking money. That's not how it works. That's the collective money of the team.
Of course it is. And you can have, you want your share now?
No.
Less for me to carry.
Bramble
Here,
sits down in the
carry
road, starts.
everything.
Here you go. 100, 150, 200. You want to carry that, little man? Make sure that thing can take away. Make that only 20 feet that you can walk if you want to carry all this in.
Hey, if you're gonna start counting fucking weight and encumbrance, you're not gonna be able to move. Let's go.
All right.
A fight among friends.
Yes, right before the hack.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree.
Sounds good.
Bickering all the way to the tree line.
And then some.
And then some. You come up to and you see George halting. You now see these large pine trees that make up this front. What looks a little weird is that in between all of these trees, you see these little, almost like tree figures hanging on little hempen ropes down from the twigs. Kind of very Blair Witchy. The trunks themselves seem to have like carvings of runes or other symbols that for mostly you guys recognize in like a plethora of cultures, it seems. Some dwarven, some halfling, just these kind of symbolisms that usually are used to ward off evil. And George kind of halts for a moment without turning around, talking probably more to himself than to you, just asks, "Are you ready?"
Was born ready.
I
And
guess so.
he takes a big breath and then ventures on between the trees, and you see the little path now already gets hard to follow. But with keeping George in your vicinity, you make your way through immediately what looks to be already like big, heavy, kind of like dense, foresty areas. There's brambles here and there. About another hour or so passes, venturing slowly and making your way through. You see George has kind of like pulled up a short sword, which he uses to hack a few branches here and there that cover the path, just mumbling something along the lines of, "These just keep growing back and back, no matter how often we cut them." And making his way along this path. And after about a total of 2 hours of venturing into this forest, the pathway opens up until this little, looks almost like a little clearing, where there's no trees except for this big, large tree where you can't even see all the way to the top. It's definitely like seems to be of an ancient kind of age. And you see there's like 2 men standing there with torches, because it's already kind of dark in here. Like the light setting is very different to the world outside of where you just entered from. They're both standing there, and along the bark of this tree, along these far-reaching roots that kind of just burrow into the ground below, you see there's like so many different what looks to be like iron bolts that are kind of knocked into different parts of this tree, and many ropes that are tied around them. They seem to be like almost like these bleak looking snakes, just linger off into all around in a circle form into the depths, basically just the depths beyond this little clearing where they run out of sight. And this is also where George stops.
I'd like to ask George, so I guess the idea is, this is why it's just called the anchor tree. We get hook our ropes either to one of the ropes which is already here, or to one of the iron bolts, and then so that we can find our way back.
Exactly. This is what we rangers do to always ensure we find our way back. We have very crafted rope makers back in Burle that have studied and dedicated their whole lives into crafting these ropes. And he kind of like shows you the ones he's been carrying. You see like there's like little, the way they're kind of like made, and little etches and parts of other colored threads in there that give off this very unique kind of structure to the whole rope. Says usually we rangers all have our own design, so we often know, at least among our own squad, what kind of rope belongs to whom. I know, for example, this one over here, and you see one of these ropes that's like very that's actually colored compared to the rest, which seems very rare. It's like colored in like a twirling red and blue. This is the one the Earl usually uses himself. So I don't know how you want to go about searching this. We can either go together or split up and keep searching the Earl's rope, or maybe I don't know, to be honest, how to go about this in the best case scenario. We never had to recover our town's leader before.
More than one anchor tree? So does this lead to another anchor tree where you can anchor yourself to get even deeper into the woods, or just one anchor tree? And
this is the only big anchor tree. Usually, yes, if we run out of.
How far have you been able to delve into the?
Well, usually our rangers kind of boast stories about who of you has used the most rope, who has ventured the farthest. Of course, some can just walk in circles and do it that way, and they've been known to cheat about the whole thing. But I think we've actually managed one of our rangers. We followed one of the ropes about almost 800 feet in, and it was snapped off.
Yeah, I was wondering, are you not worried that someone cuts through the rope or chews through it or something like that?
Oh, that happens all the time, actually, but there's not much of a choice. If we lose a rope to the woods, then that means we've lost a good ranger of ours.
if he doesn't find his way back alone. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Nobody, all of our rangers that have found their way back have been tied to the tree. Nobody has found their way back with a cut rope.
Well, since we know that the Earl wanted to go deeper in and wanted to find or follow the Lycans, it might be a good idea to take his as a lead. We also know that our friend Kadir was with him. Or was he snatched? I forgot.
He was snatched.
Oh, he was snatched. Okay.
Yeah, and I would say
Is there?
I don't think it's a good idea to split the group.
No.
Is there any representative of yous who I could discuss something with in private?
Freon.
Everybody
Freon?
points to another one.
Freon, as long as he
Yeah.
shares with us.
I always share important things.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
Yeah, like me. I always share.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
So what's this?
Yeah.
What's this about, George?
Yeah, he kind of like puts you off to the side and says, I've promised one of the men here to exchange their watch for them to be able to make their way back, at least one of them. We always do our watches here in shifts. So I can't come with you directly as of now, maybe at the end of my watch, but I do know... I haven't talked to the Earl about it, of course, since his vanishing, but I think he would be able to repay you handsomely if you go about this mission and finding him and also our missing men with, be it gold or maybe even land. We have lots of land around here, and you've already done a great service to our town. So I plead you, follow the Earl's rope and find whatever you can about him, about your friend, about the men that have been taken. And if the Earl comes back in one piece, I'm sure that he will reward all of you handsomely.
I mean, I can't promise you anything, but we'll
Of
try.
course, yes. It's just I cannot come into the wood with you as of now because these men have been here almost a day. And they need to get back, get some warm stew in their bellies and maybe an ale or two. They want to see their wives as well.
Yeah, sure, I understand that. Which one of the ropes belongs to... What was that guy's name again? We were supposed to give the bag
Earl of Burle.
No, the bag.
On the bag.
Dane.
Dane, yes.
Ranger Dane.
Ranger Dane.
Ranger Danger.
Dane Bardell.
Yes.
Let's see. And he kind of like walks around the tree, and you see him like looking for a good 3 minutes or so, and then finally, here he is. And he kind of like holds up this rope that's like made of a normal hempen color, but you see has like these little black crosses woven into it here and there. This should be Bardell's rope, as far as I know.
Do you know
He has
where he's
been-
off to?
Well, he's been out and about for, I think, 2 or 3 days now. Usually, that's when most of our patrols return. But I don't have any more information past that. It's been a normal patrol. He's been sent off, unless I wasn't told anything else. Or I'm missing something.
Okay. Yes, as I said, I can't promise you anything, of course, but if we have the chance, we will, of course, look for the Earl and the missing
I
people.
definitely appreciate the attempt of you risking your life and venturing further into this foul place.
Yeah, I share that with the others.
All of that?
And you see, in the meantime, that George is already talking to both of the others, of which one eagerly already drops his stuff, and they're tied to the tree without venturing, and one of them like unties their stuff, and he kind of makes his way already back the road. George comes back to you and hands you a bunch of his ropes, saying, "Here, you'll probably need this. Be sure to start with my signature if you want, and then add to whatever, because once you're in the wood, it doesn't matter what kind of ropes you tie, but this just is for signaling and kind of differentiating between our rangers' different insignias."
All right. Do we need to bind yours to the tree, or could we just follow and hold on to the one of the Earl?
Well, I would never venture into the Dreadwood without binding myself to the anchor tree, but I mean, you are not from us rangers. You can do however you please, of course, but it's just an added security. But if you feel free to do it this way, you can do so. I'm not stopping you. You're shoveling your own grave.
To follow the Earl's rope, and then all of a sudden, when in the middle of it, we pick up a frayed, bloody end or something, and this way, if we have our own, then at least we have the way back.
Yeah.
Can easily go.
Yeah, we can always go back using his end. Okay, well then.
Alton, you don't look too happy about that.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
I don't see any good way of doing this, so...
There's no, really not, but we have to get into the woods. This is one way to do it. This, of course, is not the eagle way, which we wanted to do, but...
We can take the eagle way back in case something goes wrong.
Yeah.
I think this will do for now.
We could still do the eagle way and look from above.
Yeah.
But then we don't have a good way. The eagles only last for 1 hour, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's... can't be enough. How dense is the forest right now? Can we peer through the sky? Like, can we see the sky through all of these pine trees?
Looking up, no. While it's like a clearing or a kind of clearing you're standing on, this anchor tree far above you spreads out and reaches out, covering most of the area, and the other trees just add on to that. By the way, we've lost Tiala due to internet problems.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll be back. She doesn't have an internet connection, it seems.
Have you heard? I'll ask the ranger. I'm really bad with names today. George. Have you heard of an area where there's lots of dead trees? Sort of a swamp, maybe?
Sounds like some inner reach of the wood, most likely. The area we patrol here is very prominent of, pine trees, fir trees, that kind of thing. But we have noticed that the deeper we go, the more dry, rooty and dead the area seems to become. More twisted and disturbed. And that also goes for the local fauna, it seems, not only the flora.
Have you followed the river as well?
No, not me personally.
But one of the rangers, and you must have told you something. where
Well,
where
we
that
have,
river leads, or
We have a bunch of ranges that kind of make their way further in. Some, I'm sure, have also done so near the Widowwind River, but there hasn't been any particular reports about anything strange. It seems to go on and on further into the wood, but we haven't dared to go that deep. You have to understand, what's your name again? I'm sorry, I have to ask. I'm bad with names.
my name,
Yes,
Frion.
Master Freon. You have to look at it this way. We are trying to keep the people of Burle safe. It is not our job to explore these foul reaches, but we need to keep whatever comes out at bay, and for the past few centuries, I believe we have done a pretty good job at that.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because you are going into the woods, and if
course.
you have heard anything related to...
Nothing special. We don't know where it ends, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, but the further you get in, you say the more twisted it becomes. And
Yeah.
what's twisted about the animals? Is it like, do they have?
Oh, weird things. I mean, we've seen bunnies running around with two heads and that sort of stuff, and also some say of shapes and things they've seen on the patrols, and it's pretty dark in here, and not always. More often than not, we come back after hearing or seeing things, and thankfully not encountering them directly. Otherwise, those that have left our ranks forever. But yes, it's just abnormal things, and I have often gotten the feeling of becoming just suspenseful and lost when I'm patrolling on my own and seeing things that aren't there in the corner of my eye. And I mean, if you've ever stayed a night in the Dreadwood, then salutes to you. I've done that once, and it was the worst night I ever experienced in my entire life.
By the way, it already is slowly turning night, and we're going to head out in the middle of the night.
Currently it's about like afternoonish, although it's very hard to tell time in here.
Yeah, because
you're already around the area, around the anchor tree, you're getting the feeling almost of being underground.
Yeah.
Although you aren't.
and the rangers are using torches, you said, so.
Yeah. The torches are that illuminates mostly the otherwise just gloomy dim light around here.
Okay, should we follow the Earl's rope?
I believe that would be our best bet at the moment, yes.
Okay, should we bind ourselves to the tree, or should we take George's rope as well? Like just as a second rope? Like a security rope?
I think just
following
the Earl's rope for now should suffice.
Yeah, should be enough. And then if that's something, okay, good. So we say yes, we will follow the rope, and we will try to find and see what Freon told us about. Which is kind of weird because now we're telling him that Freon told us what he had to talk with him in private. So it's kind of weird, but we're going to help you. Freon talk with us, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then.
So you're not tying yourselves to the tree, or you are tying yourselves to the
tree?
No,
we're following
the Earl's rope. Okay.
Yeah, I think everyone should grab the rope, just in case. Who knows? Whatever magic is happening, but everyone should be like touching the rope at all times.
Yeah, we can. Each of us can just slowly hold on. Okay.
All right.
So we're heading in.
I'll send Tara above the tree line.
Okay.
Yes.
So before you head out, you send Tara up. it gets like hard for her to kind of like fly, but she hops from tree to tree, kind of like hacking her way through with her little beak, and she makes her way above the tree line, and it's like a different world outside. It's like beautiful, nice day. The sun is high in the afternoon sky, and it's a complete different experience watching through her eyes compared to where you are right now down here. But you see the stretches of the Dreadwood in all directions that just go on like waves endlessly.
She should be able to follow us where we walk on the ground, like in the air, right? She should be able to, like
to keep like above you, for example.
Yeah.
She can definitely do that if you. It only depends. Are you like actively watching through her eyes all the time, or just checking in?
No, checking from time to time.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough. And it's about probably. What's the range again of the spell where you can like actively communicate with her?
I think it's either 100 or 300. Let me check. 100 feet.
100 feet, okay. Because about 80 feet or so is where the tree line breaks for her. It's like pretty far up to come above the tree lights. But it seems still close enough for you to keep the connection.
Good.
All right, so you follow the Earl's rope further in. Who's leading this? Who's heading on first? I need like a walking order.
I can go first.
Well, Brandwolf can go ahead. He can't get us lost because he's just.
I'm taking the rear. That's okay. No, I learned my lesson. I'll take up the back. I'll take up the back. And did we get this guy's name? Who did George send us with? What is his name?
He didn't send anybody with you.
We're alone.
Yeah.
Oh, we're alone.
Yeah,
this
it's just
guy's
us.
I thought this guy was going with us.
No.
Okay,
George
okay.
still stood there. He's gonna take over one of the position of the guards, and the other
Okay.
guard left
Well,
the way
there's
you came.
Tiala leading, and then I guess Blackwater and Freon, and I'm taking up the rear.
All right.
Leon, where would you like to walk?
Sorry.
Where do you
I
want to be positioned?
don't mind. Yeah, I think we could do what as Branwolf suggested, Tiala up front, because I think her keen elven senses might be of use as well.
All right.
Yeah. I'll be third then, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Then, so Tiala's first? Okay, so you roll me a survival check.
Survival 23.
23. Grab onto the rope, just as the rest of your party does, and you make your way into the darkness. For you, it's no issue. You have dark vision. Freon as well. Blackwater, you're a halfling?
I'm a halfling, but I do not have
you do.
any
You
kind
both
of-
you and Brandwolf would like need to light a torch, or one of you light a torch to properly see the way without stumbling. Otherwise, you're just blindly kind of following a rope because you are. It's still like gloomy, and it goes well for about like another half hour or so, which you just lead on further south. But there comes a certain part where suddenly it almost feels like you're in total darkness. Even though Freon, checking in with Tada, it's like still bright sky outside. Down here, it's almost as if you're in some sort of a cave or underground area with no kind of light. And as you, whoever one of you is carrying a torch.
I have a torch.
Okay.
I lit a torch, and
so whoever of you is, as you light the torch, it also gives off this flicker, just as if you would be in a dungeon. It's kind of the same lighting situation for you guys. You make your way following the rope. You see it like twisting and turning around trees. It kind of like moves off to the left suddenly in one sharp turn. Then following it another 15 minutes, it bends back southward again. You do also notice in the beginning of your trek here and there, you see a couple of other like other ropes that kind of like cross your way, but these become less and less the deeper you go inside. After about a good 3 hours or so of following this rope, you're getting the sense that the Earl kind of probably has a good headway of you. And all of you are overcome with, you can't quite pinpoint it, but you overcome a feeling of almost like losing your sense of direction. Like you can't really tell after twisting and turning, following the rope that much where north is, where south is. And you almost all have this setting fear and feeling in your heart of being lonely and lost. It's almost like an aura that you've entered. Just this feeling of despair in the back of your mind a little bit that gnaws at each of yours back of mind, but you're too scared to say anything to the rest of the party members as you keep following this rope. And you slowly but surely get the sense after following this the rope further that after coming there's like several bits and pieces far up in the distance of what look to be glowing lights almost. That these glowing lights almost kind of resemble, they seem to like flash every now and then. And you get the sense that these are most likely fireflies off in the distance. And it comes to a point where all of you get tired from the trek. You get the sense that while you don't have a real sense of time, it is probably beginning to get into the evening hours. Freon, you check in with Tara, and she also, like, you see the sun slowly setting far in the west across ragged mountains in the distance, where it already abruptly vanishes, even though the sky is still bright far off in that distance. But it almost like just dunks this whole forest and area into this calm but dark kind of almost misty evening light, and almost too dark for an evening even now above the tree line.
When I look through Tara's eyes, do I see any of those mountains I've seen in my vision?
Yeah, make a perception check.
Oh, look, it's a natural 1.
A natural 1. You do know that the sun is set behind some mountains, and that probably is what already gives this area like this dark appearance. But you don't see any mountains. It's just like a kind of like foggy sky that doesn't allow for that much of a view distance. And the more the seconds pass and the sun sinks slower, the more you're not even able to tell if was it over here where the sun just sank, or was it the other side? You're not quite sure. But yeah, all of you get the sense that slowly the exhaustion alongside of this feeling of fear and loneliness is setting in.
Is everyone still present?
Yeah. But
1 2
yeah, 1. Hello.
2.
Tiala, how are you doing?
I'm fine. What?
I'm fine. I just don't feel happy. I'm not happy.
And I'm guessing Grumpy is also with us.
Yeah, we're here. It's just
He currently zones in and out every now and then, stopping, checking in with Tara and coming back.
just not nice. I want to get this over with. It's not a nice place.
I don't like it, no. What does Tara see, Theon?
Well, the sun went down.
Already? Holy shit.
Wow. So it is now turning night, and we are in the middle of buttfuck nowhere in Dreadwood.
When are we not? Yeah. Does it make... I'm assuming it makes sense to light a campfire? Maybe we can clear a bit of the forest like that. Who knows?
Yeah. I think the rope of the... I mean, because I imagine that it's like they probably have the ropes and then they just keep blowing it off. It's not like they're feeding it from the thing, so...
I mean, you have seen along the trek, along the course of the trek, that already there has been like the same kind of rope like added onto it with a big tight knot. And then they've gone on from there, and then like another half hour or so later you find a similar knot again.
Yeah, that's true. That's what the idea was.
Yeah, don't pull too hard though, in case the Burle was eaten or something. At least we know what direction he went.
No, I just wanted to see if the rope is still.
Oh, you mean you want to pull?
I just want to see.
No, you don't.
No, okay, I don't.
Right.
I just want to keep following. But should we follow? Should we rest?
Just a little pull, maybe. Just.
Yeah.
I mean, Branwolf trying to pull it a little bit. You get the sense that it gives.
Yeah, that's what I said. It could give a little bit because it's not like you're gonna yank him back. Oh, someone's pulling my rope.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be like a heavy resistance or anything on the other side or
which is weird. That means that we're close, because if it's actually like miles worth of rope, that stuff should be heavy with all of the drag and all the trees in between.
So
I mean,
but the little tug you did for yourself, it gave.
It's kind of like, okay, let's follow this until see at least where it ends.
Yeah.
You follow the rope a little bit further.
Before
kind of like tugging it every now and then to still see if there's
not too strong.
There's any change in resistance. It bends around, and kind of you get the feeling that the ground also gives a little bit. It goes a little bit, not steep, but just gradually a little bit further downwards, like it becomes a little bit slopey. You follow that as well. And like another 5 to 10 minutes or so pass where you kind of follow the rope, and you suddenly see that it somewhere ends behind a tree, and what looks to be coming up on it, you see a frayed end of the rope of this red and blue coloration with a few little sprinkles of what seems to be fresh blood on top.
But does not look like a cut, so maybe more like a tear or chewed off or something.
Make an investigation check for me.
Yeah, because if he cut himself loose because he had to flee, that's only a 6.
A 6.
Shall I join?
Sure. If you want to join, you can also
have a look. Yeah. Just was wondering if he
21.
cut it off himself, or if it's like been chewed off.
Taking a closer look at this frayed end, you get the sense it wasn't cut, and it wasn't like bit or anything. This almost looks as if it was ripped off by force.
Okay. Eared with enormous strength.
But at the same time, you're all tired.
Yeah, I was about to say, shall we take this opportunity to take a rest?
Yeah,
maybe stab the end of the rope on the nearest tree, just so we don't lose it. And take a rest.
What I would do is take one of our ropes, tie it to the end of that rope, so that we can find the way back if we have to do it that way, if we're not going to take the eagles. And then kind of, is there... The vicinity, is this already like a a marsh, or is it more like a wooded area? Is there a possibility to find something
It's still a very, very wooded area. It's still rather dry.
Is there...
But the trees themselves also seem rather... almost like... some of them have this almost burned out appearance, as if they've been probably dead for a long time.
Okay.
But still, they are. But this is like only the wood itself of the bark. They still have these needles atop them.
T'Challa, would you want to have a look around for any tracks or anything that might have?
Yeah.
I don't know, any animals or werewolves that might have frayed or chewed through the rope, if there's anything.
I think that was a yes from Tiala.
I think she said yes. I think she's gonna check.
Well then, Tiala, give me an investigation roll. But I think we might have lost her again.
I think we lost her, yeah.
No. Don't leave us alone.
And the first party member.
No.
Disappears.
No.
You turn around to face Tiala, and she's gone.
No,
That's what. No.
she's not.
No, she's not gone. She's still there. She just has
Everyone's
a
still
bad
holding
internet
hands.
connection.
Yeah.
Well, Freon, then you give me an investigation roll with advantage in this case.
Can I? What? Should we help?
He gets the bad internet.
Bad internet plus. Oh, that's
She
fine.
rolled an 18. She tells me.
Okay.
She just
yeah.
switched rooms and told me she rolled an 18.
Good.
With an 18, Tiala, you look around and you don't find any like tracks in the vicinity immediately. You do find a set of footprints, large booted, that you're guessing from the heavy impact, the armor the Earl was wearing could have been his, but they kind of almost vanish at certain points and it's hard to keep track of them. You do notice further away, kind of while the rest of the party, I assume, are you already preparing camp, or?
Yeah, we're kind of...
I would say so, yeah.
I'll keep an eye on T'Challa though, that she doesn't disappear off into.
Yeah, I'm gonna prepare camp and see that we can make them.
So while the rest does that, and while Freon's keeping an eye on Tiala so he doesn't venture too far, Tiala, you see around the further out, maybe 50-60 feet or so from this camp area, there's what look to be humanoid footprints, but there seem to be almost like these holes around them here and there. So always when there's like a set of footprints, there seem to be holes to the left and right. And further off, maybe it's just there's areas where it's just a few of these holes, then there's a few of these footprints again. It's like really weird, unlike anything you've ever seen. So yeah, the rest of you...
Yeah.
The rest of you is preparing camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
You can
collecting
all,
a bunch of branches too.
Yeah.
yeah, you can all strike off one ration also for the evening, unless you want to go hunting or something.
I would just check the vicinity if I can find food.
Nah,
make
I
a
don't
survival
think we
I
need
don't
for-
want to eat anything from in
I
here.
don't think. No, me neither.
Double-headed bunnies.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's true.
we're fine for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's enough for two.
Hey, double-headed in. Find a stag with 8 legs or something. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we collected some rocks to make sure some
Get a little fire going.
fire
And
going.
now sitting around this fire before any of you go to bed, you are overcome with this immense dread, this immense feeling of just being lost. And you're unsure if you'll ever find your way out again. Or if you ever see another soul, if these few beings around you is all the rest of any living soul you're ever gonna see again. You're not sure.
We've got eagles. We're
I
fine.
was going to say, do we still have the possibility to get on the back of an eagle, I guess, Tiala, or since we've been going for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, there's this weird voice in the back of your mind that reminds you of, no, you have the tools, you have the means to, just fly out, everything's fine.
Yeah.
But there's just this overwhelming sensation that is seeping through you.
Yeah.
That's the hag.
Yeah.
Is she like peeking around a tree or something, trying to mess with us?
Make a
Not
perception
yet.
check.
Trying to think, because you said it's like, was it just like on both sides of these footprints, these holes, like you said, like O's, or is it?
Yeah,
or is it
it's
just on
mostly
one
to the
side?
sides of these footprints.
Okay, because if it's just one side, it could be a stick,
So
someone
what
using a
did you
stick
roll?
or a staff? But if it's
Blackwater.
For what, sorry?
For perception, like looking around while sitting at the
yeah,
fire.
that was a 14.
Yeah, I'm really
14. You look around, trying to see if anything is like peering around a tree or something. You don't see anything. You still get the sense at some points there has to be something, something maybe's here.
tired.
And you don't see anything, and that kind of like itches your mind a bit. But you do
Well,
hear almost like a little whisper, just this that vanishes again.
I didn't hear anything. Your mic went out, but I can imagine the gruesome
It's just
sound.
this eerie little almost like a whisper that turns into this hacking laugh.
Yeah.
But maybe
What?
you're guessing maybe your mind is just playing tricks on you, Blackwater.
No, I'm guessing that we are in
We're tired.
We are tired.
You
we
are
are
tired,
in her
yeah.
vicinity, and we're going to have to rest. This might be the death of us, but I'll take the first watch.
All right.
And
Can I take the first watch instead?
sure, go ahead. Feel
You
free.
can also both take the first watch.
No,
We
I mean,
can
you
both
need
take
three.
first
You need
watch.
3 watches in total. You're 4
Yeah.
people.
let me take one alone. I'll be fine. I've got my
Okay.
shield.
Are we
Alright.
sure we want to take watches alone?
Yeah, I don't think
We
that's
don't
a good
we don't
idea.
have enough people to share watches. I
You
believe.
have
Yeah, we do. 2 and
definitely
2.
enough to share 1 watch.
Yeah.
We need 3 watches in total.
Yeah.
Tiala
And
doesn't
Tiala
have a
only
set.
needs to sleep for she needs to sleep for 2 of them still.
I'm fine with taking one alone. So.
I think it should be alright. Yeah, I think it's maybe fine. Take the first watch alone, but then the
Yeah.
second and third. I can take Tara and put her on your side to keep watch with you.
And I'll
that
take
might be.
second watch with Freon then.
Yeah.
Probably
Alright,
best.
so Blackwater is going to take the first watch. So while the rest of you bow down, Blackwater, give me a perception check. As the fire crackles while the rest of your party members bed down for the night.
Can
Can you describe
Tara
Tara to
roll
me?
as well?
Yeah, sure. You can roll for Tala as well.
Can you describe her to me? Because I don't know how she looks like.
She's
How
a
does she look to
tiny
you?
little owl, with sort of bluish, greenish. Oh, what's the word? I don't even know.
Feathers?
Feathers. Thank you. Yes, but
Bluish.
more like luminescent.
Ethereal in the appearance.
Ethereal, yes. And she has very inquisitive eyes.
Ah, cute. I have a 3.
A
Nothing
3.
happens.
All right. You stare into the fire, kind of trying to not doze off, and looking around, still checking if there's anything peering behind a corner. You look to the fire. Suddenly there wasn't anything. You get the sense maybe there was something. And you hear it again in the back of your mind every now and then. Just this little hacking laugh, this little... Are you lost, little one? And it vanishes
No.
again and trails off. hear-
I want
you
to talk
hear-
to my shield.
Your shield. All right. You grab tight the shield like a little teddy bear.
Are you there?
There's no response. But your watch comes to an end. Without
not
further ado, Branwolf and Frion, you take
we
your
take
watch
up.
for the night. Sit down. Both of you also roll perception checks for me.
Aye. That is a 14.
21.
14. You both sit there also trying to keep the fire alive. It's flickering low, giving off these weird shadows of roots and trees everywhere around you, just resulting in these weird kind of displays of shadows around the campfire. And you hear from about like an hour into your watch from far away a almost noise like almost like this agony like cry or moan, and you hear it from a completely different direction, again from the other side of the camp, also probably far away. Just again this
Human? Male?
sounds humanoid,
Humanoid.
malish kind of, yeah.
Malish. Okay.
What do you think that is? Or who?
I think it might be the Earl, which is...
It did come from different directions, also in close time frames, and you keep
I mean,
hearing
maybe
it
he
all
was split in
throughout
half.
your. You keep hearing it all throughout your watch. This
Yeah,
agony kind of filled moan.
I think she's fucking with us. It's a mind fuck, you know. She's messing with us, you know, trying to scare us, which she's doing a very well job, milady.
While you're saying this, Branwolf, you hear closer, but not as close. Just this skittering noise. This something almost like it sounds like footsteps, but in a very quick succession almost. Something fleshy or otherwise
tree,
that
or-
kind of. No, it had a weird sound to it. You can't quite put your finger on it, but it sounded like steps of something that was kind of like making its way across the forest floor. And then again, you have followed by a weird noise and agonish moan further off in the distance.
No sleep tonight, I guess. Well, I'm not going to go and check. I'm just keep my watch.
Frion, you see, while you're still keeping watch, some shape moving further off in the distance. Kind of something that's like stumbling from behind a tree. Almost this humanoid form, frail looking, kind of just like in a weird way walking around, and you now hear like this top of the footsteps of it, not coming closer to the camp, but just making its way through the forest. And at the same time, on the other side, also you see this kind of other being, same form, almost like this humanoid form, but there seems something weird about it, something that gives it a like an other unnatural appearance. It almost seems like it has maybe 2 arms or more, something weird. And also this one comes behind past a tree, slowly coming towards the campfire at this point. And also you see it's while it has this kind of humanoid face with no eyes, just the eyes are just void of any eyeballs, and just this gaping maw that goes up, and it also just steps slowly but surely closer towards the camp.
I
and as
point
you
that
see
out
it
to
kind of-
Branwolf.
as you see it getting closer, the flickering
Roll
fire
for
of the
initiative.
campfire
Yeah, no,
slowly like illuminates it a little bit. You see now it opening up, like between its what look to be like arms. You see are these long spikes, and you see 4 of them, and also a 5th one coming out.
I take out my
slowly
weapons.
Coming towards.
Yeah.
the
No, I
camp.
got my friends Leroy and Jenkins ready.
Seems to be 2 of them.
Yeah, good.
And this
we're
is
ready.
where we'll leave off for
I
tonight's
think we
session.
leave it enough tonight. And I just almost shat my pants because right outside, the dove just landed in front of my window, and I just and it landed with a kind of a thud, and you're just and it opens up, and this stupid fucking pigeon gave me a heart attack. God, I'm gonna go kill something.
All
Okay.
right.
Good.
So
Ready
we'll
for
see
next
where,
time.
where this ends next session.
Yes.
Hey, you guys wanted to go into the
Yes.
Dreadwood.
Perfect. Yeah.
We have no choice.
I'm making it fast. I have to go change my soiled underwear.
Yes.
I love all of you. I'm out of here.
Thank you everybody
Goodbye.
for joining, listening, and watching. And
Yeah.
we will see each other and listen to each other next week. Be sure to check out the description and everything for all the nice stuff and loot and discount links. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends. And we'll continue this next week. Thanks, and bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Hang on a sec.